Hello, I'm Steve Jobs, 90s rock, the milk tray man from Cultaholic.com, and can you believe it? Hell in a Cell is just 1 day away, and how many matches have been announced? 5. And 3 of them are inside the cell. Now, as you may remember, at Clash of Champions, Sam and I tied in the predictions contest, leaving the Cultaholic Heavyweight Championship vacant. Ow. But that means the stakes have never been higher, because here at Hell in a Cell, Sam and I are going one-on-one, the winner becomes the champion, and the loser has to take on Hell in a Smell 3. If you didn't catch either last year's or the prior year's Hell in a Smell, the premise is very, very simple. The loser is locked inside a cell. It's the office next door. The loser is locked inside a cell for 24 hours with something incredibly, incredibly smelly. And every single minute of that is live streamed here on the Cultaholic Wrestling YouTube channel. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from years gone by, shall we?
Oh, I'm trying to look at the camera as I do. Ah! No! Plenty of that. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got your money's worth there, didn't you?
Actually, bollocks to that. That's enough of the highlights. I've lost 2 years in a row, but this year is going to be different. I am going to walk away as the new Cultaholic Heavyweight Champion, and Sam is going to be subjected to the smelliest, most rotten 24 hours of his life. I guarantee it. Let's get on with the prediction, shall we? Kicking things off with The Miz versus Otis, and the winner not only gains the respect of wrestling fans all around the world, but will also be the new Mr. Money in the Bank, guaranteeing that person a future title shot at a time of their choosing. I feel like a lot of the signs do really point to Miz here, but given the world title pictures as they are right now, and will likely be in the coming months, I certainly don't see him capturing a world title again anytime soon, which is why I'm taking Otis here. Sure, it feels like Otis and the briefcase have been a massive afterthought basically since he won it. In fact, it basically felt like they had forgotten about the bloody thing until about a month or so. But I think whoever wins this one is probably going to be unsuccessful in their cash-in anyway, so it seems a bit pointless to transfer it over to The Miz, who is just going to waste it too. Essentially, Vince loves Otis, we all know that, and although the result of this one depends entirely on which side of the bed Vince McMahon wakes up on tomorrow morning, I'm betting that his love of Otis is going to prevail, and not just that, Otis is going to have a little bit of help from the cousin of El Grand Gordo, El Medio Tucky. I figured it out. That's right, Tucker is going to help Otis pick up the W here, because Otis is his BFF. And with everything going on in the world right now, we could all use a reason to smile, and this is that reason. Go on, Otis.
So for this one, I'm going to go for The Miz. I think simply because the court case was bought. We had that whole Law and Otis thing, and it looked like JBL, who was the judge, was going to side with Otis, but instead Miz bribed him. And then on top of that, Morrison was the original guy who nicked the case, and then we had that little bit of back and forth with them when Tucker revealed that only Miz's name was on the legal case, and Morrison got a bit up in arms. He was on Miz's side during the court case, but something's telling me that Miz is going to win here. Those two are going to feud with each other, and in their stupidity, maybe a couple of months down the line, Otis is just going to slip in and take the case back.
Next up, it's the match we're all the most excited for, right? Right! It's Jeff Hardy versus Elias, because for some reason, Elias thinks that Jeff ran him over all those months ago because he's an idiot. I'm taking Jeff here because even though, yeah, Elias has just come back, he's not that good, is he? The reports that Vince sees Elias as one of the top guys on Raw is quite frankly insane to me. He's a guy, in my opinion, who should lose more than he wins. And after Jeff just lost the IC title, he could do with beating someone. And even though, yeah, Jeff is, I guess, getting toward the end of his wrestling career, it's Elias. Come on. And you know what? Come at me in the comments section. I just don't care.
So for this one, I think I'm going to go for Elias. I was having a little bit of trouble trying to work out who was and wasn't going to win this one, but I decided to go with my gut in the end. I think with it being a new feud with Elias, and this sort of is the kickoff to this feud as well, really. This is the first time they're going to properly lock horns. I just think that it makes the most sense for Elias to come out on top here. Somebody of Hardy's stature, somebody who was just recently the IC champion. On top of that, Vince apparently sees Elias as an upcoming top guy. Fingers crossed, but yeah, hopefully it'll be Elias.
Next up, the SmackDown Women's title is on the line as Bayley defends against her former BFF, Sasha Banks, inside the cell. I think this has been one of the best, if not the best, WWE feud of 2020. And I'm just not ready for it to end. And I think everybody is going to think it is ending after Sasha wins it on Sunday night. But let's not forget that Sasha isn't very good at defending titles now, is she? So yes, she's going to pick up the win on Sunday night, but she's going to drop it back to Bayley just 5 nights later due to shenanigans on SmackDown, and the chase is back on for Sasha. This has all the potential to go all the way to Mania, and given the quality of the feud and the performers involved, I think this is the best way to get there. Sasha.
So for this one, I've been saying for a little bit of time now on Graded that I've just got this gut feeling that Bayley might somehow retain, but at the same time, it just feels right. It's been going on so long now, and we all felt like it was going to carry on to Mania, but right now feels like the right moment for Sasha to take it. After the aggression we've been seeing from her as well, like in recent weeks, especially after Bayley attacked her, it's just a whole new Sasha Banks. And I think putting the belt on her, the fact that Bayley, you know, desperately trying to cling to the title, like, it's just... yeah, it's got to be Sasha, hasn't it? It's got to be.
Next up for the WWE title, Drew McIntyre is defending against Randall Keith, once again inside the cell. I'm fed up of picking Orton for these, because every pissing time I do, he comes up short. And I picked Orton for the last God knows how many months, years, decades that this feud has been going on for. So I'm taking Drew for this one, despite the fact that the big rumoured WrestleMania main event is going to be Edge versus Orton for the WWE title. My thinking is, does that match really need the gold on the line? I don't think it does. Given the history between the two and the fact that they're one apiece, nah, I don't think it does at all. So I'm taking Drew. I was always behind you, big guy. Just don't go back and watch the previous predictions videos, all right?
This was another one that I had a little bit of difficulty trying to work out, because really I thought that Randy would have taken it at Clash, and now that it's gone on and Randy's like still going for the belt, part of me thinks that Drew's just going to retain, and then part of me also just wants Drew to retain because I want to see Drew in front of a live audience with the belt. That would be very nice. But at the same time, on top of that, there's the whole rumored feud that could potentially happen between Drew and Barrett. And if we were to potentially get, not that I'm, you know, demanding this or anything, if we were to potentially get a UK pay-per-view, that'd be one hell of a main event. Wade Barrett coming back for like one night in the ring, maybe, if it's just something special like that, or a full return, I don't know. But having that headline a UK-only show, or like a UK-only pay-per-view type thing, that would be just next level, wouldn't it? So please, Drew, please just hold on to it.
And finally, the Universal title is on the line as Roman Reigns defends against his cuz, Jey Uso. Now this should be fantastic. If Banks Bayley isn't the best feud in main roster WWE in 2020, then this one is. But it's still farcical to suggest that Jey Uso is walking out as Universal Champion here. Roman is going to brutalise Jey in the cell. He's going to brutalise Jimmy in the cell, who I think is going to be hidden under the ring for most of the match. He's going to brutalise everybody in sight. He's going to make those two his bitches, because he is the big dog, he's the head of the table, he's the tribal chief, and he is the rightful face of WWE. Will we end up getting a stable with the three of them? Perhaps. Does Roman Reigns need a stable? No, he's entertaining enough on his own, although I'm not against the stable idea. But one thing is for certain, and that is that Roman Reigns is going to retain the Universal title tomorrow night, and he's going to look damn sexy doing it.
And in terms of the main event, come on, it's Roman, isn't it? It can't not be Roman. But the whole build to this has been spectacular. From the moment it started, the whole Jey and Roman stuff, to where we are now with Jey scaling the cage and just staring a hole in him after jumping him with the help of Jimmy this week. It's just blowing this whole family apart. Now we also have the added stakes, which are that if Jey loses and Jey says I quit, then he has to essentially accept Roman as tribal chief. He has to back him up and he has to be there to support him. And if he doesn't want to do that, then unfortunately Jay, Jimmy, Naomi, Jay's wife, Jay's kids, their kids, their kids, their kids, like all of the descendants, they are cast out from the Anoa'i family. I don't think Roman's going to have the walk in the park that he sort of had at Clash of Champions. I think Jay's going to take him to the limit. Maybe not fully to the limit, but he's gonna absolutely put a beat down on Roman. Maybe Jimmy will even get involved as well here, but it has to be Roman that wins. In order to further this story properly, Roman has to be the guy, surely.
So those are our predictions. The stakes have never been higher, and Sam is never going to be smellier. I'll be streaming reactions live on Sunday night, so do tune into those, but we'll also have, of course, What Happened At with Jack. We'll have Graded with Tom, and most importantly, making his return to the channel. Ross is back with WTF Moments on Monday evening, so keep an eye out for all of that. We've missed Ross an awful lot. It's going to be great to see him back. Thank you very much for watching. See you soon. John Cena salute there. Don't know why I did that.